Hi everyone, welcome back to YouTube classes. It's Divya here with class 11 physics. Now we have already started with our chapter 8 uniform circular motion and we have seen what is uniform circular motion and what are the terms related to that and some basic equation for all the terms also. Now today in our class we are moving on to another important topic, that is centripetal acceleration and centripetal forces. What are the types of centripetal forces and what is centripetal acceleration and equations related to that. Okay, now let's come to the topic. Now let us begin with centripetal acceleration. See, centripetal acceleration, it is actually directed towards the center of the circle. Okay, an acceleration which is directed towards the center of the circle. Now when you talk about centripetal acceleration, actually when a particle is performing a uniform circular motion, you know that in a circle at each and every point the tangent is going to change, that is you are having a tangent or the direction is going to change continuously, isn't it? And we have already told that in a uniform circular motion the speed remains constant, isn't it? Even then, due to this tangential change at the each and every point or in the change in direction, velocity changes continuously. See, you will be thinking speed is constant, then how can there be velocity? Velocity is a vector quantity. It is having both magnitude and direction. If magnitude is the same, direction even changes, means velocity will change. Okay, so this here the change in velocity is due to change in direction at each and every point. Now if there is a continuous change in velocity, automatically there is an acceleration. Change in velocity results in acceleration, and this acceleration is always towards the center of the circle, and hence you have the term centripetal acceleration denoted with small letter a. Okay, now I have already told you the centripetal acceleration is denoted with the symbol AC, or simply A also you can write. Okay, now this is given by V square upon R. Centripetal acceleration equation is given by V square upon R. So this is the equation in terms of velocity. Now in terms of angular velocity, we are having V is equal to R omega. We have seen yesterday. So if you put this equation here, 1 R and R will get cancelled, and remaining you will be having acceleration, centripetal acceleration EC will be equal to R omega square. The two equations for centripetal acceleration you are having in terms of angular velocity also and in terms of your linear velocity also. Both the equations are important for your exam, that is for especially for your numericals. Now we have seen the change in direction or acceleration whenever you are having uniform speed, isn't it? So it cannot be uniform all the time. There can be changes also. It can be non-uniform also. Now whenever it is going to be non-uniform, you will be having tangential acceleration. Okay. Now tangential acceleration you are going to denote it with AT. Now, one thing you have to remember is that, see, the centripetal acceleration is a result of change in direction, whereas tangential acceleration is a result of change in speed. Okay, tangential acceleration is due to the change in speed, and centripetal acceleration is a result of change in direction. And one important thing you have to keep in mind is that this tangential acceleration and centripetal acceleration both are perpendicular to each other. Now you are having the equation for tangential acceleration will be due to change in speed. So equation will be dv by dt. Is that right? Now radial acceleration. Radial acceleration or your normal centripetal acceleration you are having, AC will be equal to V square upon R. Now since these two are mutually perpendicular to each other, magnitude of resultant acceleration, we have learned it in the vector chapter, isn't it? Magnitude will be given by A will be equal to AR square plus AT square, isn't it? So these are the basic things. Now one thing, in a variable circular motion of the particle, both are perpendicular. I told you both are variable also. Radial acceleration is also variable, tangential acceleration is also variable. Now due to this reason only the resultant acceleration is also variable, and in case of a resultant acceleration it will not be directed towards the center of the circle. Okay, that is all about your tangential acceleration or variable circular motion. Now let us come to centripetal forces. Now the centripetal force is actually force which is required to move a body in a circular path with uniform speed. So uniform circular motion we have seen, isn't it? Now the force with which a body is able to execute a uniform circular motion, you call it as centripetal force. Now this centripetal force is acting on the body along radius and towards the center, that we have also seen when we have talked about centripetal acceleration. Now this centripetal force is actually a center seeking force. Okay. Now for centripetal acceleration, you are having one equation, centripetal force. You are having one equation like a centripetal acceleration, that is F is given. See, you have the equation force is equal to mass into acceleration from your Newton's second law, isn't it? Now this acceleration is centripetal acceleration. We have already seen the equation for centripetal acceleration, isn't it? V square by R. So that your final equation for F or centripetal force will be equal to M V square by R. This is also another important relation you have to learn. Now when we talk about the centripetal forces, we are mainly talking about two types, that is centrifugal force and centripetal force. Now first let us start with centripetal force. Now centripetal force is a force that whatever body which is performing a circular motion will be acted upon by a force that is directing inward or towards the center of the circle, and this type of force which is acting towards the center of the circle, you call it as the centripetal force. Okay, now it is given centripetal force F is given by F is equal to mv square by r. We have already seen in terms of angular velocity v will be equal to r omega, isn't it? So there it will be F will be equal to m r omega square. So these are the two equations for your centripetal force. Now when you come to the equations for or examples for your centripetal force, so you are having so many examples there, that is circular motion in a nature, circular motion of an atom in an orbit, or if you are whirling a stone tied to the end of a string. This is all examples of your centripetal forces. Now important examples from the daily life for centripetal forces include bicycle rider leaning towards or taking a turn on the road, or you are having car on a level circular road, or banking of road or banking of turns you are having. All in this case in your textbook, see, just equations you are having, these are important. Explanations you have to read, nothing in that. When you write the free body diagram equation, just not you cannot call it as a derivation, only two equations in terms of sine and cos. Dividing the two, for all the cases the final equation you are having will be tan theta is equal to v square by rg. Okay, so this is the final equation for all the three cases you are having. No derivation is there, just explanation is there, just the same thing we have discussed in our friction. Okay, so just go through those three examples, and if you are having any doubt you can put it in the comment box. Now let us come to centrifugal force. Now this centripetal force and centrifugal forces, already you are learning it in your smaller classes, isn't it? What is a centrifugal force? Forces which are acting outwards, not towards the center of the circle, but one which is acting outward, you call it as a centrifugal force. And you have already learned that this centrifugal force is not an actual force, it is an imaginary force, or it is a virtual force, or you can call it as a pseudo force. Okay, pseudo force that does not really exist. It is only just an imaginary force. Centrifugal force is an imaginary force which is acting out to just outwards the circular path. But you have to always remember one thing: this centrifugal force is never an action reaction force to centripetal force. It is not an opposite force to centripetal force. Okay, that is very important thing you have to keep in mind. Centripetal force is not a reaction, not at all a reaction force to your centripetal force. Both are not an action reaction force. That is very important point that you have to keep it in your mind. Okay, now examples you are having a centrifugation you are learning in your chemistry also, isn't it? So centrifuge is the instrument used for centrifugating. What is centrifugation, or what is centrifuge? Centrifugation means it is separating the mixtures, process of separating the mixture. Now, what is a centrifuge? It is a device used to separate the particles, isn't it? So, in that centrifuge also, it is making use of this centrifugal forces or centripetal forces. Okay. So those are examples that you can go through your textbook, read the portions properly, and if you have any doubt, you can ask me. This centripetal forces, this chapter as a whole is actually the same thing you are learning in your 10th itself, isn't it? So you can just go through that, and if you have any doubt, you can put it in the comment box. I'll reply for that. Now, till we see with the next topic in the next class, stay safe. Bye bye. Thank you.